Catch up on all the live shows right here on africatechradio.com.
It's a new week, and of course we're waiting the new Nigeria. A lot of people are patiently sitting by their radio and by their television, waiting and collating all the results around the nation. And while we're doing that, we are still very much transmitting our own very content, supporting the nation, supporting Africa, one tech update at a time. Welcome to Africa Tech Radio. My name is Booki, and this is CruiseCtrl. Of course, a lot of crews have been catching just looking at their algorithm, because my own means of information is from my phone. I mean, you can watch anything, you can listen to anything, and of course, I'm sure you're listening to us right now majorly from your phone. I beg to differ though, but I'm sure. So while I'm looking at information surrounding the political update, the election, there are other people who are actually being strayed by the bullies. Information around how their faves, maybe celebrities, influencers, how they've been showing support, and if their support was actually appreciated or not, all of that funny stuff. I'm going to take some of the updates with you guys so we can actually share this information and probably crack a rib or two together. And also looking at information around town, looking at the news updates, what's happening with Flutterwave. Flutterwave is a financial institution, a fintech setup. We also have information on Flutterwave. We have information of what's happening with Nokia and their deal in South Africa, looking at how they are looking to expand 5G in Africa. And also Egypt is also launching the Earth observation satellite UROS-1, and most staff are also likely to be affected in a second round of layoff at 5-year-old cheaper cash. They did some layoff last year, they did some early this month, February, and they're still looking to cut down their staff workforce. Flutterwave information is that the CEO rings closing bell. Also, I have a lot of great information to share with you guys, and today is Tech Appreciation Monday. And guys, guess what? This might come off as people usually just look at it and pass it, not taking much consideration or observation into how this affects our life, and mostly affects how we interact with products, with sales, with marketing, with promotions of deals that we're getting and all of that stuff. So I'm going to be talking about my Tech Appreciation Monday when I come back after this music break. This one I don't want to tell you about it because it's always overlooked. It's overlooked, and of course is highly effective also. Can you imagine? Overlooked yet highly effective, or highly effective yet overlooked. Yeah. So some of these tech innovations that we see, we're so used to them and we really don't think too much of their importance, right? That's how we do Tech Appreciation Monday. I just take you to the most random places. We look at innovations. We look at things happening around us that is pushing us forward, that is making our life easier and simpler. Or is that a word? More simplified. Yes, it's the English word. So we'll look at all of this when I come back from this music break. This is something from Tubaba. I haven't heard anything from him. Usually Tubaba is always vocal about political conversations and political rally and campaigns and all of that stuff. But he has also taken stray bullets from Nigerians. So probably he's learned his lesson and decided to keep quiet voice. But in as much as that, whether you're being shouted at, being asked to tone it down, keep quiet, or that you've been compromised, I still feel like you should not hide yourself in the face of all this, because everybody's voice counts. I remember so many countries have had the same political situation where people were compromised, or where they were trying to get another leader because a leader has ruled for too long and there's been no changes in the situation of the country, most especially the economic situation. So that's why most people are always aggrieved during these periods, and they just take out out their aggression on everybody. Well, in as much as possible, please, Tubaba, find your way back. Want to hear more from you. And of course, I don't know what the music is like these days with Tubaba, but for now, this is Bebe featuring Larry Gaga and Mikasa on Africa Tech Radio. Just looking at all the numbers that have been collated so far, and of course we at Africa Tech Radio were doing our optimum best just to help you guys stay on check with the numbers. I mean, we don't want mago right? On social media right now, Africa Tech Radio, A-Tech Radio, on IG, on Twitter. You can check and just follow through with the numbers. We're putting it out there from Nigeria to the world, just letting them know that it's not just to talk about tech, we're also actively involved in the electoral situation going on right now, because that means a lot to us over here. It's going to determine the policies, the rules, the guidelines, the framework that would shape the tech sector in the next 4 years. So that's why we're actively involved, guys. With the song I came in, I wanted to take all the slingshots and stray bullets that were flying about on social media. I think I should take that one first, because we're still in line with politics at the moment. And I talked about how Tubaba's voice has not been so loud this period, unlike in the past, where these people usually just have a say because they have like a huge following, fan base and all of that stuff. So they usually mobilize their fans to go out, encourage them to vote. And if they have somebody they believe in, they usually encourage that their people go in that direction just like they are going. So they always believe that if it's good for me, it's good for you. But this time around, people are not following that if it's good for you because we are your fans or we idolize you, it's good for me. Everybody right now is looking at what is good for them and the future of their unborn children, or the ones that have their kids already are looking at what's the future of my children going to be like. And like I said before, what's the future of the tech ecosystem in Nigeria going to be like? Because when they talk about fintech, guys, around the whole of Africa, Nigeria seems to be leading this ecosystem. When you look at the fintech industry, we're always like the ones that they look up to, or we're always the people pushing the boundaries, coming up with new ideas, innovations and all of that stuff. Looking at the health sector also, looking at the fitness and wellness, looking at all, just everything, agriculture, agri-tech. Yeah, you just have to just think about all of these things. It involves your life, it involves your earning power, it involves your business, how you're able to do business. That's changed. Right now, you see that new ways where you can actually get easy payment transfer and all of that stuff. Transactions now are very simplified and things are to be better. You cannot stick with the old model and say it does not relate to you. It relates to you. The world of transportation is also changing. So on my way to work today, I wanted to talk about how transportation has transformed, and I think there's going to be a bigger transformation in Africa, but first starting from Nigeria. I know there's a system where people now use cards to take a transport system. So now with the situation of the cash circulation and limited money policy around, I feel like it will come to a place where people are paying most of our lifestyle, day-to-day living, things that we're buying will be simplified to the point you have to pay with cards, and when your cards rings out, you have to go recharge and of course continue using that system. But that's not what I'm talking about today for my tech appreciation, because we're not there yet. We'll get to that hopefully. So looking at what has been happening with all of these celebrity people and how people are reacting to them, first and foremost, I think the most unliked celebrity when it comes to politics is Desmond Elliot. He has been the honorable for Surulere constituency, and people have never spoken anything nice about that guy, but he has been doing his bits. He has been there, even though they said he's not doing much, he's doing the little that you people think he's doing. He's just doing something. And also, over the weekend, the pictures surfacing online about the popular Nollywood celebrity Toyin Abraham. She posted a picture of her at an event with presidential aspirants for APC, saying that this man has discussed some of the ideas, great ideas with her, and she thinks that is ready to bring the change that Nigeria is looking for. And the slingshot started. It started from a lady calling her out and saying, name 3 of the ideas that he shared with you, and this is the reason why they end up giving you foolish roles. Like, you don't get good roles that are kind of educative and all of that stuff. And if you are a frequent, ardent, avid Nollywood watcher, you watch most of their movies and you watch the Yoruba scene also, you definitely know what this lady is talking about. It's rare before you see this particular actress taking a role that is intelligently I don't know, but I kind of related, and I'm like, that's harsh, but everybody has an opinion on social media. And of course, our own African giant, Burna Boy, was also dragged because he didn't say anything during the campaign process. He didn't use his voice, and he has a very large fan base at the moment, and he didn't encourage anybody to go out to vote, even though he's not supporting any party or any person, but at least he should have used this platform to encourage people to go out and vote. So it came out last minute while the numbers are being put together to say something on his social media, and somebody actually came for him saying that he's saying something at this moment. He could have said something since then. Another person responded by saying, if he had said something about what's happening in Nigeria, how would he have lyrics to his next hit song? Can you imagine? How rude. So do you mean that he leverages on Nigerian problems for his hit songs? I'm a Burna Boy fan. I won't take that. If you are very open and you speak out in terms of Nigerian problems, you put it in your songs, you talk about it when you're giving an international platform to talk about your inspiration for your music, and of course when they link you to your success, it's also going to come from home. Either way, whether you admit it or not, it's definitely going to come from where your origin and all of that stuff, which is Nigeria. You should have at least used your platform to say something, encourage people out there, just to show solidarity. So I think that was what that person was also insinuating by the tweets, saying that if we get the right person to lead and take off all the Nigerian problem, what song would he write again? So we still have some other people are definitely pushing for files. They are supporting him because he has been very vocal. He has used his platform, his voice, his music to talk about all of this, and he never stopped for a season. Every time there is a social issue, it definitely shows that he sees, he hears, and he feels. Yes, he feels what the people are feeling also. Another person that got dragged is the popular on-air personality Duke. She also got dragged by just a random tweet, her personal tweet about how she and her dad last election they supported opposing party, and when her party didn't win, she went and still celebrated with her dad's party, and people came for her because she has a story about how she lost her parents while she was very young, and people are dragging her. What do you mean? And querying a source of financial buoyancy. I think that's also wrong, but in politics, all is fair and games. In war. Yeah, Bessie Johnson also got dragged. These are popular celebrities in Nigeria, by the way, for supporting a particular party. I didn't even know that her husband was actually a contestant for a senatorial position in the South. But then in Nigeria in general, she's supporting this particular party and people thought it's wrong of her. I feel like she has the autonomy to decide who she supports or not. We can't all see the same thing from the same angle. We see it from different angles. She knows the reason why she's supporting, but why people are dragging these people is because they usually have a large fan base, large following, and their voice matters a lot. So that's the reason why you think that people are actually coming for these people. But in the same regard, we also have people who are celebrating some celebrities. I talk about Fowls. People are also admiring P Square. One of P Square, I think it's Peter or Paul. I'll definitely get information clarified before I leave the studio. Also using the platform to educate people, because a lot of tribalistic conversation around this political affair going about, people not knowing the reason why they are voting. They think it's about coming from the east, coming from the west, or coming from the north. But he has always been vocal about his position about that. It's not tribalism right now. It's supposed to be unity, coming together to decide what is good for each and every one of us together. And also Mr. Macaroni, he decided that he was never going to be compromised in all of these political affairs. He has always used his social media platform to advocate and speak against any wrong movement that endangers the life of citizens, that also suppress and oppresses the voice of Nigerian youth. So Mr. Macaroni is also one of those celebrities that have been respected and admired during this election period. And we also have some other people, Yabo Ojo, always coming on live, using a social media platform to speak, to push people, encourage people to go out and vote, and letting people be aware of the problem, just in case some people are forgotten. Because a lot of all these celebrities, majority of their fans are sometimes not the, I don't know if the word sound correct if I use it, like learned, educated, because most people have phones, they use their phones, but then how much education do they get? That's why we encourage that you keep telling people to listen to Africa Tech Radio. We bring you all of the information around tech innovations and of course how tech is changing our life. You can get full education right from your palm top, your phone. You can use your phone to take online courses. There are also apps that have been built by Africans for Africans to push the education system. So you don't have to go to classrooms anymore for education. You can get it right from the tap on your phone. Yeah. And also, we also have programs that will definitely be pushing on this platform to educate people in different ways and in different areas and sector of life. Yeah, let's get some music in, and of course I'll come back with some tech updates this time around. Not political updates, but tech updates for you guys, and I'll wrap up with my tech appreciation Monday. Going over now to the next story. It's Founders Day, and of course we have our very own Flutterwave CEO who rings close bell at a New York Stock Exchange. So the Chief Executive Officer of African leading payment technology company Flutterwave, by the name Olugbenga Agbola, has been honored to ring the closing bell for the New York Stock Exchange on Friday in celebration of Founders Day. This event is to commemorate the achievements and contributions of African Americans who are making significant strides in the various aspects of their life. Remember, I was telling you that we are actually blessed with innovations, ideas springing out of Africa. So right now, so many investors and venture capitalists have their eyes on Africans because they don't know. It's just a land of opportunity with honey, milk, and they're ready to milk that out of Africa. I mean, I want to see it because when they feel like they can actually profit, means that we the people can actually profit. So it's good news everywhere. So Flutterwave, which has been a success story originating out of Africa, it has reached a valuation of $3 billion in 2023, making it the highest valued African startup covering sub-Saharan Africa and Northeast Africa after obtaining an operational license for Egypt. So this success story is a reflection of the ingenuity and resilience of African entrepreneurs and the potential of African tech ecosystem. So this tech ecosystem, we still talk about the growth of it, and more to come out of it is dependent on this move that Nigerians are pushing for with the election campaign, with their voting power and everything. So we're glad and we celebrate with the CEO of Flutterwave, Olugbenga Agbola. You know how everybody have been raving about chatbots, talking about the AI. There's something coming up on Africa Tech Radio, so look out for us. We're having mankind and artificial intelligence. So all of that great stuff happening real soon on Africa Tech Radio platform. So people are talking about how chatbot has helped them through their proposal, strategy, planning, even students writing their essays and projects and all of that stuff. Right now, there's a news around robot lawyer that drafts legal contracts in the office after chatbot deal. This whole news about how the robot, actually called Robin AI, was secured for $10.5 million in equity funding, was actually developed. It's a lawyer bot that can pick apart contracts and suggest new wordings to solicitors. It says the technology can also cut the time to review a document by up to 80% savings on legal fee. So this technology has actually been developed with the rival to OpenAI, the Silicon Valley startup behind ChatGPT, a chatbot that has spurred a flood of interest in artificial intelligence. So Robin AI is working with Anthropic, a Google-backed company that has raised over $1 billion and is working on rival technology to OpenAI. Its technology is recently and currently used by Magic Circle law firm Clifford Chance. By the way, all of this is happening in UK, so it's like a British artificial intelligence startup right now, Robin AI. A lot of people are still going to come up with their own after a while because artificial intelligence, whether we like it or not, has come to stay. It's been there, it's been at the back since, but right now it's coming to the forefront to run things for us and simplify our lives. While people are being scared that this is going to replace their jobs, it's going to take away jobs from them, I feel like this is actually come to make lives easier, lives way better, jobs easier. We just have to find our own human intelligence. We created these things, so don't feel like technology is going to be smarter than you. If it's smarter than you, look for the loophole where you can actually lead technology, because we both need each other. Tech needs you, you need tech. So don't feel scared, guys. Use it, take advantage of it, and learn, upskill. I keep talking about upskilling, upskill. Egypt has added another Earth observation satellite to its fleet after successfully launching the Horus-1 satellite into the Sun's synchronous polar orbit. Horus-1 was onboarded in China's Long March 2C, launched successfully on February 24, 2023, and the XLS-2 pad at the... I don't like to spoil names of people or places or things because my producer Joel calls me out on this one, but I'm sorry. It's called Jiuquan Satellite Launch Center in the Gobi Desert. So this satellite was actually built under the One Belt Road Initiative, an initiative to build infrastructure and trade links throughout Asia, Europe, Africa, and other regions. So the Horus-1 is actually the first of the long line of remote sensing satellites under development by Egyptian engineers with full support from their Chinese counterparts to enhance the local satellite development capability of the North African nation. So this Horus One features our high-resolution imaging camera, making it the perfect fit for enhancing sustainable development and resource management. This Horus One is also expected to produce critical data to enhance Egypt's agricultural sector by improving productivity and limiting wastage. I like all of this because we can't stop talking about how every sector has got to be impacted by technology and improved also. So he's looking into the agricultural sector to improve productivity and help limit wastage. And also it's going to help monitor water sources and predict natural disasters and monitor the encroachment on state-owned land and violations such as narcotic cultivation. So it's keeping everybody in check. It's going to be above their lands and checking what's happening, what's new, and predicting maybe any possible disaster in the nearest future. So we have Horus One looking after Egypt for us, and all thanks to their partnership with the Chinese people. Who still uses Nokia? I remember my first Nokia phone, when you put it on, the sound and the way it just spells out. So right now, Nokia is looking to change its logo to mark the start of a new era. Yes, so the CEO for Nokia laid out a 3-phase plan for the telecom equipment to reset, accelerate, and scale. So that's what they will be looking at. Nokia will now focus on accelerating, and it's changing its logo for the first time in 60 years to signal the strategy shift. So they are ditching the blue color and it's replacing it with whatever is more appropriate given the situation, meaning that no specific color scheme has been assigned so far. And the CEO for Nokia, Lon Mark, said that Nokia is no longer just a smartphone company but a business technology company. Copy that? Yes. He said there was the association to smartphones, and nowadays we are business technology company. So in addition to its growing telecom equipment business, Nokia is going to focus on selling gear to other businesses. This includes private 5G network and equipment for automated factories. This would actually position the company as a competitor to Microsoft and Amazon in the field. So Nokia don't just want to produce Nokia phones and accessories, but they want to supply other companies, supply other nations all accessories. So don't say they are telecom, they are now a technology company. Okay? Yes, I like growth. I mean, doing the same thing for 60 years and expecting the same results. No, it's a new world. It's a new era. Technology is taking over the whole place. People are changing and adjusting how they usually do things. So it's right for this company to actually look at things that need to change in their company, starting from the logo. So now Nokia is no longer going to be having the blue and white logo thing. They are definitely going to come up with better idea. They've been proposing some ideas, which is on our social media page, ATech Radio on Instagram and Africa Tech Radio on Twitter. So in case you want to see what the new logo is going to be like, we definitely have that one out there, but they're not saying that that's the chosen one for now. They're still contemplating on changing this logo. 60 years is a long time and they need this strategy shift. Absolutely. One more day and it's going to be Welcome March. But for now, we're still in February and we're enjoying all of the great sun, all of the great atmospheric temperature, pressure, how everything is going over here. We're looking to go into March with a new president for Nigeria, and all eyes are out, ears out. Everybody wants to know what's going on. So while we're still doing that, it's time for me to move over to the next segment of the show where I appreciate a tech innovation. This, I said over time, has been overlooked, yet highly effective. When I come back, you get to know what I'm talking about. But for now, let's get some good music playing. It's really beautiful what I'm about to talk about right now for those in maybe marketing, sales, or you've got a small business you're pushing, or you are a blogger, or you have a platform where you send out information. This has helped a lot in the information technology sector. It's the smallest thing, yet the most effective. I'm talking about email listing. Yes. Yes. Email listing, guys. I feel like if you run a business or you have a large following and you'd like them to know about your new product that you're introducing, or you have a deal that you like to share with people, rather than start saying, okay, calling one after the other, or trying to get people to come back and check what your business is about. Maybe you've had a one-time customer thing, or you've had people who have actually meet you up and they know what you're doing and they know what you offer, but then you want to have them coming back and checking up on your new deals. Maybe you have a discounted rate you're giving at the period, or maybe you have a new product you're introducing, or you have something just happening, even events that are happening. So you see, it's not just for selling product, but creating that awareness for people to know what you're about and what you're doing and what's next and what's happening in your business, maybe you're offering educational courses, or you have like an app and you have new features, rather than waiting for people to come back or having to go back and start looking for how to, let them know about this information. All you just have to do is use your email list. Yes, most people these days actually go through their email a lot because everyone has like the new 4-day work week thing. So most of interactions happen over the email. So you get emails, you respond to emails. So people are definitely going to be checking their emails 3 to 4 times before the end of a day. So email listing is actually a very, very important innovation, guys. So I don't know, most people will be like, never thought about it, but it's actually effective, right? You've read about deals, you've read about offers, you've read about new products. For me, I opened my email and I'm bombarded by courses, I'm bombarded by skincare products, I'm bombarded by maybe people cutting deals and saying you can get this for lower rates and all of that stuff. So email list is like a special list of names and email address of people who gave you permission to send them updates and promotion from your business. So how do you gather this? Maybe you go out for open door sales and you go about introducing people to your product, to your brand, to that new thing, smart idea that you're pushing to the market. You can actually take their names, take their phone numbers, and take their email address. I remember last year going for events, and at the entrance of the event, you have to register your name and your email address. So what we were doing by giving them those information, those data, was they're going to collect their data, and we've given them permission to bombard us with information. So even with email listing, people can subscribe to your platform, they can subscribe to your page, they can subscribe to any offer that you have. So marketing people, usually they know more of this, but most people feel like I don't need emails, especially people who run like store to store business or person to person. They'll be like, I don't need email address. But think about it this way. You believe having social media following is good, right? Remember one time in Nigeria where we could not use our Twitter. You had to go through VPN. Imagine one day Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or whatever social media platform you use decide to scrap that platform off. You lose your following, you lose your customer base. But if you have like an email list, you can't lose them. You can't lose an email. You just send an email to everybody. So when your Instagram has been hacked or something, you still have an email list to message your customers, to still message people about your new product or your new brand or whatever offer you have going off. So you need to build an email list, guys. If you're hearing this and you've never thought about it, I think you are missing out on all the great things that you can achieve with an email list. So while you should also be pushing for people to give you their email address, also encourage that you verify and that they help subscribe also by you can attach this to the link by telling them to subscribe. So when they subscribe, it means they've given you a good permission to flood them with email. I remember last month or late last year, and I was talking to somebody, and the person was complaining about how this particular company kept messaging him and he was tired of their message. And I'm like, all you just have to do is unsubscribe to their email list. So when you unsubscribe, it means that they cannot send you as much email as they usually send in the past. So email is a very personal something. So when you message people about your upcoming events and upcoming activities or activations, you definitely would be messaging that person directly. Many people give people their phones to check their email. Very rare, except you have like a personal assistant. Even your personal assistant still have to check and let you know what's more valuable at the moment to you, put it on schedule. So email is very personal and purposeful, and email targets person to person. So it doesn't have to be you coming out to start maybe printing billboard, paying a lot of advertising money, promotions and all of that stuff. So that's a very cheap form of promotion for you. So it's a one-on-one thing, and you can actually, some people do send feedback. Maybe you look at the product and you see that it's not really good, or the app that they're trying to test there's just something that somebody noticed. You might have missed it, but what you missed, somebody might observe and call your attention to it. So you can also get feedback directly from your customers. So this is actually a good way for you to market, for you to advertise, for you to promote, and companies are using it. So many companies are using it. So many marketing experts are using it. So I'm just encouraging you right now, if it's something you think is just for professional work, office work, or it's just for serious life, think about it. Every platform right now has the opportunity to expand whatever you're doing, your business, to expand maybe your great ideas. Even if you need feedback, maybe you're building something and you like to know how people are receptive to that, you can try email listing. I'm sure by the time you send 1,000 emails, you definitely get like maybe 200 people responding to you, because they would want to see what's up and they will check it. And that's good feedback, especially for product designers. If you're designing a product and you're looking, okay, does this work? Looking at the back end, front end, and looking at how the interaction is it seamless, is the logo good, is the font size okay? People will definitely give you quick reaction via email. So you should leverage on that. So what are the 3 things you need to do when you want to build an email list? First, if you have like a website or a blog, or maybe a marketing service, or high converting in forms, all these are very easy to set up, guys. So when you have that in place, then you can now choose the best email marketing service that you want to use. This is really good, guys. This is really good. So I'm encouraging you, in case you don't know about this is what tech appreciation is all about. It's not just to come and say, okay, today is phone is the best, or television, or smart stuff we use in the house or at our office or in our cars or whatever, but appreciating everything to the minute things that you overlook. Don't overlook an email. Look at the ways you can use it to leverage your business for promotion, for expansion, for feedbacks, all of that great stuff. So that's it, guys. Email marketing, email listing, email subscribers. You can just have everybody. And the funny thing is, you can reach out to anybody in any part of the world. You don't have to wait and say we just want it in this region or geographic boundary. You can have people around the world. I remember at my lowest, I think this was 2 years ago, somebody called me. I dropped my number for a real estate company and I dropped an email, but I didn't give them my direct email. So but my number was the correct number, my only number, and they called me and they were telling me I didn't have money. I was still trying to sort out my rent, and they called me telling me to come and buy an apartment worth hundreds of millions. And I'm like, I saw after the call, I attended to the lady because she's of course in business hour doing her thing. Said they have some apartments. If I'm free, I could come to check. I said, okay, no problem. I would actually go through their brochure and check their list and everything. When I opened my email, they bombarded me with pictures because I gave my correct email. So they kept sending me emails of properties in different locations and areas. And the money, guys, the amounts that these people were sending to me, I just had to be giving thanks to God that these people actually saw my number and thought that I can actually afford this. Great is God. And it actually opened my mind to me wanting to own something of that magnitude. So email listing is also good for you. Sometimes you kind of underrate yourself by thinking that you're not a potential client. You are a potential client as long as you have an email address. You are a potential client, and they can open your mind to maybe things, opportunity that they've been investment opportunities that have come through my email. People have things that they want people to invest in, and once they have your email, they also use that. They use it for strategies and resources, and it's a really great way for people to interact. So don't just think that email has to be respond immediately. You know how professional people do their email thing, but you can actually send an email for your business, for strategies, for resources, for feedback, for activations and promotions of products and everything. So that's it, guys. That's it. Look into email listing, and if you have not, now I think you should start gathering people's email addresses. You don't know, you might need it someday. You might not have their phone number anymore. You might not have their address to their homes or offices. They might relocate and all of that stuff, but an email remains sustainable over a long period of time. So with this viewpoint of mine, I hope I've been able to convince you or not to confuse you about email listing, that it's actually a good innovation. You see, it's one of those things you don't really think too much of, but it's actually very effective. A lot of businesses, big businesses, they use it. They're still using it. And people are still hoping that they can get your email address. So why not think of getting their own email addresses, your neighbors, your friends, your colleagues? Start gathering it. One day you need it, you put it together, and everybody gets a good message from you that explodes your next innovative idea. I've come to the end of today's show. I'm going to play the song by Brymo, £1, but then I've got another one, money, because all of this talk I'm talking about is just ways you can actually make more money, right? Yes. So guys, this is Africa Tech Radio and CruiseCtrl. We'll be back tomorrow, and tomorrow, guys, I'm going to be having conversations about accelerating sales in this tech time, tech trend, tech era. So let's see how we can have sales going up for you guys. So join the conversation tomorrow 1 p.m. but I'll be in the studio by 12 p.m. and let's have a great conversation. But for now, have a great evening.
Thanks for listening, and don't forget to catch up on all the live shows right here on africatechradio.com.